In the heart of the desert, there once ruled a pharaoh who did something unthinkable. He didn't just change a religion, he shook all of Egypt. For thousands of years, Egypt worshipped many gods: Amun, Ra, Osiris. Temples were full, priests were powerful, rituals never ended. But one day a young pharaoh stood up and said, "There is only one sun and only one God." His name was Amenhotep IV, but even his name was not spared. He erased it and was reborn as Akhenaten, servant of Aten. He crushed ancient traditions, erased the names of old gods, built a brand new capital in the desert, and ordered his entire empire to look toward only one thing: the sun. Some called him mad. Some called him the first revolutionary in history. But one truth remains: no one in thousands of years of Egyptian history ever dared to do what he did, and the price he paid for it was enormous. Fact 1. His name was not Akhenaten at first. Before he became Akhenaten, he was known as Amenhotep IV, the son of a powerful pharaoh and heir to an ancient tradition. He was expected to do what every pharaoh before him had done: respect the priests, keep the gods of Egypt happy, and change nothing. But something in him was different. As a young ruler, Amenhotep IV began to question the world around him. He watched the priests of Amun grow richer than kings. He saw temples gaining more power than the throne itself. And then he made a decision that changed history. He rejected his own name, the name of his ancestors, and chose a new one: Akhenaten, servant of Aten. This wasn't just a name change. It was a declaration of war against the old religion, against the priests, against centuries of tradition. From that moment on, he was no longer just a pharaoh. He was a revolution wearing a crown. Fact 2. He tried to erase the old gods. Long version. For thousands of years, Egypt lived under the eyes of many gods: Amun of Thebes, Osiris of the underworld, Isis the mother, Horus the falcon. Their temples dominated the skyline. Their priests controlled wealth, land, and even politics. Then Akhenaten did the unthinkable. He stood before his people and declared that there was only one true God: not a man with a jackal's head, not a falcon, not a statue, but the sun itself, Aten. To prove he was serious, he didn't just speak, he acted. Temples dedicated to Amun were shut down. Sacred statues were broken. The names of old gods were literally carved out of stone walls. Centuries of tradition were erased stroke by stroke. Priests who had once been untouchable suddenly found themselves powerless. Their income vanished. Their influence disappeared. Their gods were being erased before their eyes. To Akhenaten, this was purity, a return to a single divine source of life. To everyone else, it felt like an earthquake shaking the foundations of Egypt. He was not reforming religion. He was replacing it. And for the first time in Egyptian history, people whispered, "What if the pharaoh has gone too far?" Fact 3. He built a brand new capital in the desert. Most pharaohs ruled from powerful ancient cities like Thebes and Memphis. They lived where their ancestors lived, followed the same roads, the same palaces, the same gods. But Akhenaten refused to live in the shadow of the past. He chose a place where no city had ever existed before: an empty stretch of desert between cliffs in the Nile. There he gave an order: a new world will begin here. In the blazing sun, workers carved stones, raised temples, built palaces. The city rose incredibly fast, like it was racing time itself. He called it Akhenaten, the horizon of Aten. This wasn't just a capital, it was a message carved into the desert. Forget the old Egypt. This is the new one. Temples were roofless so that Aten's sunlight could fall directly inside. Streets were wide and straight. Art was different. Rituals were different. Even daily life changed. But there was also a darker side. The city grew too fast, cost too much, and angered too many. And when Akhenaten died, Akhenaten, his dream city, was abandoned, left to the sand and silence of the desert. Today it has another name: Amarna, the ruins of a pharaoh's greatest experiment. Fact 4. Nefertiti was not just his wife. She was his partner in power. Most queens of Egypt stood behind their pharaohs. They were important, but rarely equal. Nefertiti was different. She stood beside Akhenaten, not behind him. On temple walls they are shown together, the same size, the same height. A powerful message in ancient Egypt, where size meant importance. Sometimes she is even shown wearing the royal crown, leading rituals, giving orders, striking enemies. Roles usually reserved only for the pharaoh himself. Together they presented a new image of royalty. Not a cold, distant king and silent queen, but a family, husband, wife and children, beneath the rays of a 10. Their statues show affection. They hold hands, they sit together, they play with their daughters. Something rarely seen in Egyptian art before. People whispered that Akhenaten trusted Nefertiti more than any general or priest. Some historians believe that for a time, she may have even ruled as co-pharaoh. To his followers, they were the blessed couple of a 10. To his enemies, they were the dangerous creators of a new world. But one thing is certain, without Nefertiti, the revolution of Akhenaten would not have looked the same. Fact 5, he was almost certainly the father of Tutankhamun. Today, the whole world knows the name Tutankhamun, the boy king, the pharaoh with the golden mask, the tomb that stunned archaeology. But behind that famous child stood another name, Akhenaten. Modern DNA tests on royal mummies strongly suggest that Akhenaten was Tutankhamun's father. The story becomes even more dramatic. Tutankhamun was born into a world already on fire. Old gods erased, a new religion forced on the people, a capital city in the desert. Priests angry, generals suspicious. The country divided. He inherited not only a throne, but also his father's unfinished revolution. As a child pharaoh, he was surrounded by adults who feared Akhenaten's ideas. They pressured him to restore the old gods, to return to Thebes, to abandon Akhenaten, and even to change his name from Tutankhaten to Tutankhamun. In many ways, Tutankhamun spent his short life trying to repair what his father had broken, or what others believed he had broken. So behind the glittering mask of the boy king stands the shadow of a controversial father, a man who tried to reshape the world, Akhenaten. Fact 6. His strange appearance changed Egyptian art forever. If you look at statues and reliefs of Akhenaten, you will notice something shocking. He does not look like other pharaohs. Instead of the strong, muscular, perfect king image, Akhenaten is shown with a long, thin face, narrow chest, wide hips, rounded belly, long fingers and neck. Some statues even make him look almost androgynous, not fully male, not fully female. This was not an accident. During his reign, a completely new style of art appeared, the Amarna style. For the first time in Egyptian history, royal art showed emotion and imperfection. Pharaohs were shown, playing with their children, kissing their wives, sitting relaxed instead of standing like stone warriors. Why did Akhenaten look so different? No one knows for sure. Some scientists think he might have had a genetic disorder. Others believe it was symbolic, a way to show that the pharaoh was both mother and father of his people, or that he was closer to the divine than to ordinary humans. Whatever the reason, one thing is clear. Akhenaten broke not only religion, he broke the visual rules of an entire civilization, and Egyptian art was never quite the same again. Fact 7. He made many powerful enemies. Akhenaten's revolution did not come without a price. By closing the temples of Amun and taking power away from the priests, he created dangerous enemies among the religious elite, generals, and nobles. They accused him of madness, heresy, and even betraying Egypt. Unrest grew, the economy weakened, and the empire became unstable. Akhenaten wasn't only fighting against old gods, he was fighting against his own powerful state. Fact 8. He wrote a famous hymn to the sun. The hymn to Aten, attributed to Akhenaten, is one of the oldest known monotheistic texts in the world. It praises the single sun, Aten, as the source of all life. Fact 9. His burial place is still debated. Akhenaten's exact tomb is still unknown. Some evidence points to the Valley of the Kings, while others suggest Amarna. His final resting place remains a mystery. Fact 10. His reign may have been struck by a mysterious epidemic. During Akhenaten's reign, many members of the royal family and people across Egypt died unexpectedly. Ancient records hint at a wave of unknown illness sweeping the land. Some historians believe it may have been a plague or epidemic, but the true cause remains uncertain to this day.